Ladies and gentlemen, wealth is not just about money, it's about mindset. It's not the coins in your pocket nor the notes in your wallet, but the thoughts in your mind and the habits in your daily life that decide whether you walk the path of abundance or remain trapped in scarcity. You see, riches begin as an idea long before they ever appear in the bank. The man who thinks poor acts poor and eventually becomes poor. But the one who dares to think rich, who carries himself with the confidence of prosperity, who makes decisions as if the treasure is already his, that man has already stepped into the stream of success. The secret is not waiting until wealth shows up to act wealthy. It is choosing today with conviction to adopt the thinking patterns, the disciplines, and the standards of those who have already achieved what you desire. Because here's the truth, money does not make a man rich, his mindset does. Wealth simply flows into the life of the person who has already built a place for it within his character, his vision, and his daily actions. So today I invite you to lean forward, open your mind, and prepare yourself, not just for new information, but for transformation. If you can reshape the way you think, you will reshape the way you act. And if you reshape the way you act, you will reshape the destiny you live. Think rich, act rich, and surely become rich. Ladies and gentlemen, if there is one thing I've learned about wealth, it is this. Before you ever hold it in your hands, you must first hold it in your head. Wealth is not an accident. It is not a lottery ticket. It is not something you stumble upon by chance. It begins always and without exception in the quiet chambers of the mind. Think about it for a moment. Every great building you've ever seen, before it stood on a foundation of concrete, it stood on a foundation of thought. Every successful usiness you admire, before the first product was sold, it was first sold in the imagination of the entrepreneur. Every great invention, every breakthrough, every fortune made, it all began with the spark of an idea nurtured and believed in by someone who dared to think differently. The power of a wealth mindset is the power to believe in prosperity before the evidence shows up. It is the ability to say, I may not be rich yet, but I will not think like I am poor. Because here's the truth. The poor man and the rich man often live in the same neighborhood, face the same economy, endure the same challenges, and breathe the same air. The difference is not in their surroundings, but in their thinking. You see, poverty is not just the absence of money, it is the presence of limitation in the mind. And wealth is not just the abundance of money, it is the abundance of possibility in the mind. That's why some men rise from nothing to greatness, while others remain stuck even when given resources. Their bank accounts may differ, but it is their thoughts that set the ceiling on their future. Let me tell you something important. The world does not pay you according to your need, it pays you according to your value. And your value is first born in the way you think. If you think in scarcity, you will act in fear. If you think in fear, you will hesitate, retreat, and miss opportunities. But if you think in wealth, if you adopt the mindset of abundance, you will act boldly, take risks wisely, and recognize opportunities that others overlook. The wealth mindset says, there is enough, I am enough, and I can create more than enough. That shift alone transforms a person. Suddenly, you no longer wait for someone to hand you a raise. You begin to design your own streams of income. Suddenly, you no longer see problems as burdens. You see them as doors disguised, waiting for someone bold enough to open them. Suddenly, you stop shrinking back when life seems unfair because you understand that fairness has nothing to do with it. Mindset does. Let me give you a picture. Imagine two farmers given the same piece of land. One says, this ground is too hard, nothing good will grow here, so he plants nothing, waits for luck, and blames the soil. The other farmer says, this ground is tough, but if I till it, water it, and work it, something great can grow. He digs, he sweats, he plants, and sure enough, when the season comes, one farmer harvests nothing while the other harvests plenty. Same land, different results. Why? Mindset. Wealth begins with the farmer's way of thinking. The soil of your life will always respond to the seeds of your mind. If you sow doubt, you reap hesitation. If you sow fear, you reap paralysis. If you sow confidence, you reap action. If you sow vision, you reap opportunity. So the question is, what are you planting daily in the garden of your mind? Are you rehearsing your limitations, or are you rehearsing your possibilities? Are you dwelling on why it can't be done, or are you searching for how it can be done? Because here is a universal law. Whatever dominates your thinking will eventually dominate your life if you want. Wealth, you must train your mind to think in terms of wealth. How do you do that? By surrounding yourself with ideas of abundance, by studying those who have succeeded, not to envy them, but to learn their patterns, by disciplining your thoughts every morning, refusing to begin the day with I can't and instead declaring how can I, by shifting from complaint to curiosity, from excuses to solutions. A wealth mindset also requires responsibility, because here's the reality. If you blame the government, the economy, your boss, or your neighbor for your lack, you surrender your power. But the moment you accept that your future is not in their hands but in yours, you regain control. Wealth thinkers take responsibility. They do not wait for rescue. They build ladders. They do not pray for lighter burdens. They pray for stronger backs. The wealth mindset is also one of patience. Money may come slowly, but thinking must begin quickly. If you wait until you see results before you adopt the mindset, you will never see results. It's like saying, I'll plant when I see the harvest. No, you plant first, you wait, you water, you protect the crop, and then you harvest. That is how it works. So let me leave you with this truth. Your outer world will never exceed your inner world. You can inherit a fortune and lose it if your thinking is poor, but you can inherit nothing and create a fortune if your thinking is rich. Therefore, think wealth. Train your thoughts as carefully as a soldier trains for battle, because your greatest fight will not be with the economy, the competition, or the circumstances. Your greatest fight will be with the voice inside you that says you can't. Silence it. Replace it with I can, I will, I must. The power of a wealth mindset is not that it magically creates riches overnight. No, its power is that it transforms you into the kind of person wealth is attracted to. And once you become that person, disciplined, visionary, confident, responsible, money has no choice but to find its way into your life. So I ask you, are you ready to start thinking like the rich? Because if you are willing to think it, you will soon find yourself acting it. And if you are willing to act it, then in due time, you will surely become it. Ladies and gentlemen, once the seed of a wealth mindset has been planted, it must be watered daily with habits that mirror abundance. For thoughts alone, though powerful, are not enough. A man may dream of riches while lying in bed, but it is his daily habits that either pull that dream into reality or bury it in the graveyard of wasted potential. Wealth is not built in one grand moment. It is shaped by the little actions repeated faithfully day after day until they form a foundation no storm can shake. I often say, don't just wish for success, design your habits around it, because habits are the quiet architects of destiny. They work in silence, shaping character, sharpening skills, and creating momentum. While the world watches the highlights of successful people, it is the behind-the-scenes disciplines, the habits of abundance that produce the show everyone admires. Now let me tell you something important. Habits are not just about what you do. They are about who you are becoming. Every habit is a vote you cast for the person you desire to be. When you rise early instead of sleeping late, you are casting a vote for discipline. When you read instead of scrolling endlessly, you are casting a vote for wisdom. When you save and invest instead of spending foolishly, you are casting a vote for financial freedom. And soon, the sum of these votes forms a character that mirrors abundance. So what are the habits of those who live in abundance? Let's walk through them together. The first habit is intentional learning. Wealthy people never stop learning. They read, they study, they ask questions, they attend seminars, they take notes. Why? Because abundance flows toward the person who is prepared. Poverty is often nothing more than ignorance in action. If you want to live abundantly, you must fill your mind with the wisdom of those who came before you. Make books your mentors. Make learning a daily discipline, because the more you know, the more you see, and the more you see, the more you seize. The second habit is disciplined action. A wealth mindset without action is like a field full of seed but no farmer to plant it. Abundance is attracted to movement. Do something, try something, step forward. Wealth is not found in hesitation. It is found in bold, deliberate action. And here's the key. Don't wait for perfect conditions. The wind will never be just right. The soil will never be completely soft. And the timing will never be flawless. Act anyway. Discipline yourself to move daily toward your goals. The third habit is stewardship of money. You must handle money as if you respect it. Abundance will not stay in the hands of someone who wastes it. Think of money like a guest. If you treat it with honor, it will want to stay. If you neglect it, it will leave. Save faithfully, invest wisely, and spend purposefully. Make your money work harder than you do. And remember, abundance is not about what you earn. It's about what you keep and grow. The fourth habit is associating with the right people. Show me your closest friends and I will show you your future. If you spend time with complainers, you will soon complain. If you spend time with visionaries, you will soon catch their vision. Habits are contagious. Attitudes are contagious. Energy is contagious. Surround yourself with those who push you higher, who believe in abundance, who live with integrity, who refuse to settle for mediocrity, because you cannot soar like an eagle if you insist on scratching the ground with chickens. The fifth habit is gratitude. Yes, gratitude is a wealth habit. Why? Because gratitude shifts your focus from lack to abundance. The man who is thankful for little will be trusted with more. The man who constantly complains even when he has plenty will never feel rich no matter how much he accumulates. Gratitude multiplies. When you wake up each day and count your blessings, when you appreciate the opportunities in front of you, when you celebrate progress instead of only perfection, you train your mind to see abundance everywhere. And when you see abundance, you begin to live it. The sixth habit is health and energy. Wealth means little without vitality. If your body is weak, your dreams will remain weak. If your energy is drained, your vision will be clouded. Abundance requires strength, mental, emotional, physical. Eat well, move your body, rest sufficiently. Why? Because abundance is not only about money, it is about living a full, rich, vibrant life. The wealthy man who cannot climb a flight of stairs without losing his breath is not truly rich. The seventh habit is planning and reflection. Every day, take time to plan your priorities. Don't just wander through life. Design it. Ask yourself, what is the one thing today that will move me closer to my goals? Then at night, reflect. What did I learn? What can I improve? Reflection. Lection is the habit that refines all other habits. Without it, you repeat mistakes. With it, you build wisdom. Now, let's pause for a moment and draw a picture. Imagine your life as a bank account. Every habit you practice is either a deposit or a withdrawal. When you study, save, act, and give thanks, you deposit into the account of abundance. When you waste time, spend recklessly, and complain, you withdraw. Day by day, your balance grows or shrinks, not by luck, but by habit. The great deception is to think habits are small and insignificant. They are not. They are destiny in disguise. You may not see the results after one day of discipline, just as you don't see the harvest after planting one seed. But give it time. Stay consistent. Water your habits with persistence, and one day you will wake up to fields of abundance. So let me ask you, what habits are you practicing right now? Are they habits of poverty or habits of wealth? Are you mirroring scarcity or mirroring abundance? Remember this truth. Abundance will not come to you until it can come through you. And habits are the channels through which abundance flows. Ladies and gentlemen, if you wish to be rich in money, start by being rich in habits. Habits of discipline, habits of learning, habits of gratitude, habits of wise stewardship, habits of energy and health, habits of planning and reflection. These are not just things you do. They are the person you are becoming, and who you become always precedes what you achieve. So today, choose habits that mirror the life you desire, not the life you fear. Because when your habits reflect abundance, your future cannot help but become abundant. Ladies and gentlemen, if a wealth mindset is the seed and habits are the soil, then vision and discipline are the sunlight and water. Without them, nothing grows. You can think rich all you want. You can even practice the beginnings of good habits, but without vision to guide you and discipline to sustain you, your journey toward abundance will stall before the harvest. Vision is the picture of the future that pulls you forward. Discipline is the bridge that carries you to it. Vision answers the question, where am I going? Discipline answers, how will I get there? Put the two together and you possess an unstoppable force. Leave one out and your progress crumbles. Let's begin with vision. Vision is the ability to see tomorrow before it arrives. It is the power to hold in your mind a picture of the life you want, even when your present life looks nothing like it. The man without vision is like a ship without a compass. He may sail, but he will drift. The man with vision, however, sails with purpose, no matter the storms, because he knows where he is headed. Think about it. Every wealthy person, every successful leader, every innovator had a vision long before others could see it. Henry Ford envisioned cars for ordinary people while the world laughed. Thomas Edison envisioned light while the world stumbled in darkness. Entrepreneurs envisioned. Stores, creators, what they had in common was not resources but vision. You must create a clear vision for your life, not a vague wish, not a half-hearted hope, a vision so sharp it excites you in the morning and keeps you awake at night. What kind of life do you see? What kind of impact do you want to make? What kind of freedom do you want to enjoy? Until you see it clearly, you cannot reach it, because here's the truth. The clearer the vision, the stronger the pull. But vision alone is not enough. Vision without discipline is daydreaming. A man may imagine palaces while sitting in a shack, but unless he disciplines himself to build, to work, to sacrifice, he will die in that shack dreaming. Discipline is what transforms vision into reality. So what is discipline? Discipline is the decision to do what is necessary, even when it is not. Easy. Discipline is choosing progress over comfort, responsibility over excuses, and consistency over convenience. Discipline is what gets you out of bed when you feel like sleeping in. It is what makes you save money when spending would be easier. It is what drives you to study, to practice, to work, even when no one is watching. Discipline is the great equalizer. You may not have been born with wealth, but you can practice discipline. You may not control the economy, but you can control your discipline. And here's the beauty. Discipline compounds. One disciplined choice repeated over time creates unstoppable momentum. Let me illustrate. Imagine two men. Both start with the same income. One spends recklessly, saying, "I'll save later." The other disciplines himself, saving a small portion every month. 10 years later, one is trapped in debt while the other has built wealth and freedom. The difference was not luck, it was discipline. Vision gives you the dream. Discipline gives you the strategy. Vision paints the big picture. Discipline fills in the details. Vision excites you. Discipline refines you. Vision is the promise of tomorrow. Discipline is the price you pay today. Without discipline, vision dies in the land of someday. But with discipline, vision marches steadily into reality. Now let's connect the two more deeply. Discipline without vision can become drudgery. You'll work hard but not know why. You'll labor but feel no joy. You'll achieve but without direction. That's not the life of abundance. That's slavery to routine. But vision without discipline is fantasy. You'll dream endlessly, but your dream will remain locked in the prison of imagination. The true power comes when vision and discipline walk hand in hand. So how do you build this partnership in your own life? Start by writing your vision down. A vision kept only in the mind is easily lost. A vision written down becomes a contract with yourself. Then break your vision into goals. If your vision is to be financially free, your goals might include saving a percentage of your income, starting a business, or investing wisely. Next, turn goals into disciplines. If saving is the goal, discipline yourself to save before you spend. If health is part of your vision, discipline yourself to exercise even when you don't feel like it. Another key is focus. Discipline is not doing everything, it is doing the right things. Don't scatter your energy chasing every opportunity. Align your daily actions with your vision. Ask yourself, does this move me closer to my vision or further away? Every yes should be a step toward abundance. Every no should protect your focus. And let me remind you of something, discipline is not punishment, it is preparation. The athlete disciplines his body not to suffer but to win the prize. The student disciplines his mind not to be burdened, but to expand his potential. Likewise, you discipline yourself financially, mentally, and emotionally, not to restrict your life, but to enlarge it. Discipline today is freedom tomorrow. Let's look at a simple example. Suppose your vision is to retire early and travel the world. Without discipline, that vision will remain a fantasy pinned to your wall. But if you discipline yourself to save consistently, invest wisely, and live below your means, that vision becomes possible. The vision inspires you to keep going, while the discipline ensures you arrive. Here's another truth. Storms will come. Obstacles will rise. Discouragement will whisper. That's when vision and discipline matter most. Vision keeps your eyes on the prize. Discipline keeps your feet on the path. Without vision, you'll quit in the storm. Without discipline, you'll wander in circles. But with both, you will outlast the storm and reach your destination. So, let me ask you, what is your vision? Is it strong enough to excite you, to move you, to fuel you? And what disciplines are you practicing to bring that vision into reality? Because the distance between where you are and where you want to be is not measured in miles, it is measured in disciplines. Ladies and gentlemen, wealth is not a mystery. It is the marriage of vision and discipline. Vision to see the life you want, and discipline to pay the price to build it. Hold them together, practice them daily, and I promise you this, the future will not just happen to you, you will design it. So dare to dream big, but don't stop there. Dare also to live disciplined. Because in the union of vision and discipline lies the secret path from thinking rich to becoming rich. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the greatest secrets to success and one of the most underestimated is the power of your surroundings. I tell you, a man can have a vision as high as the mountains, discipline as sharp as steel, and habits rooted in abundance. Yet if he plants himself in the wrong environment, his growth will be stunted. Your surroundings matter. They shape your thoughts, they influence your choices, and ultimately, they determine your direction. Let me put it plainly. No seed grows in barren soil. You can hold the seed of wealth, the seed of discipline, the seed of greatness, but if you plant it in toxic ground, it will never flourish. And so it is with your life. If your surroundings are filled with negativity, laziness, mediocrity, or fear, your spirit will suffocate. But if your surroundings are rich with encouragement, wisdom, inspiration, and challenge, your potential will bloom beyond what you thought possible. The truth is, human beings are like sponges. We absorb what we are around. Spend enough time with complainers, and soon you'll complain. Spend enough time with dreamers, and soon you'll dream. Spend enough time with builders, and soon you'll build. Surroundings don't just influence you, they mold you, shape you, and eventually they become you. Think of the eagle and the chicken. The eagle is born for the skies, yet if raised among chickens, it will scratch at the ground, unaware of its wings. The environment of the chicken yard robs the eagle of its destiny. Many people today are eagles living in chicken yards. They have potential for greatness, but their surroundings keep them small. My question to you is, have you allowed yourself to live in a chicken yard when you were born to fly? Now let's break this down into practical dimensions of your surroundings. 1, the people around you. The people you spend the most time with are the mirrors that reflect your future. If you want to know where you're going, look at your 5 closest companions. Do they lift you up or drag you down? Do they inspire you to dream or pull you into despair? Do they encourage your growth or criticize your ambition? You cannot soar with those who refuse to leave the ground. If your circle does not challenge you, then your circle is your cage. So be intentional. Surround yourself with people who think big, who value discipline, who celebrate growth. Seek mentors, seek encouragers, seek companions who live with purpose. And remember, association is a choice. You may not choose where you were born, but you choose who walks beside you now. Choose wisely because their energy will soon become yours. 2, the environment you create. Success is not only about the people around you, it's also about the space you design for yourself. Your environment must reflect your goals. If your home is filled with clutter, distraction, and chaos, how can you expect clarity in your mind? If your desk is a battlefield of disorder, how can you expect order in your finances or career? Surround yourself with symbols of your vision. Place reminders of your goals, where your eyes can see them daily. Create a space where focus thrives, where learning is encouraged, where distractions are minimized. Remember, your environment speaks to you silently. A messy space whispers laziness. A disciplined space shouts readiness. Design your environment to speak abundance into your life. 3, the voices you listen to. Your surroundings are not only physical, they are also mental. What voices are you allowing into your ears? What books are you reading? What podcasts are you listening to? What music fills your soul? Every voice either feeds you or starves you. Every word either builds you or wrecks you. If you constantly consume negativity, gossip, or fear-driven news, your spirit will shrink. If you feed yourself with wisdom, encouragement, and education, your spirit will expand. Surround yourself with voices that remind you of what's possible, not voices that convince you of what's impossible. Make it a habit to fill your mind with teachings, principles, and truths that cultivate growth, because the voice you listen to today becomes the reality you live tomorrow, the culture you inhabit. Culture is powerful. It is the unseen air we breathe in our families, workplaces, and communities. Some cultures encourage excellence, some breed mediocrity. Some cultures reward responsibility, others celebrate irresponsibility. Ask yourself, what culture am I living in? Does it push me toward my goals or pull me away? If the culture around you is toxic, don't surrender to it, change it, or remove yourself from it. Create a culture in your own home, in your own business, in your own relationships that mirrors abundance, a culture of gratitude, growth, and discipline. The atmosphere of expectation. Surroundings also include expectations. If you live in an environment where the expectation is low, you will shrink to that level. If you live in an environment where the expectation is high, you will rise. That is why the best athletes train with the best athletes. They surround themselves with a culture of excellence that forces them higher. Who is expecting greatness from you? Who is calling out the best in you? If no one is, you must place yourself in environments where greatness is the standard, not the exception. Now let's make this practical. Suppose you want to build wealth. If you surround yourself with friends who laugh at saving, who mock investing, who spend recklessly, guess where you'll end up? But if you spend time with those who plan, who budget, who build, you will naturally adopt their ways. The environment becomes your teacher, silently training you toward abundance. And let me tell you something important. It is not enough to remove yourself from negative surroundings. You must actively place yourself in positive ones. The absence of weeds does not guarantee a garden. You must plant flowers. Likewise, the absence of toxic people or distractions does not guarantee growth. You must fill the space with mentors, with books, with systems, with habits that reflect the life you desire. So my question to you today is simple but profound. What are your surroundings saying about your future? Are they pulling you forward or pulling you back? Are they nourishing your vision or suffocating it? Ladies and gentlemen, success is not just about what you carry within, it's also about what you allow around. If you are serious about thinking rich, acting rich, and becoming rich, then you must guard your surroundings with the same intensity a farmer guards his fields. For just as weeds will choke a harvest, so will negative surroundings choke your success. Surround yourself with excellence, and excellence will shape you. Surround yourself with abundance, and abundance will reflect in your life. Surround yourself with people who expect more from you, and soon you will expect more from yourself. That is the law of surroundings. So today, make a bold decision, examine your circle, design your space, control the voices, shape your culture, and elevate your expectations. Because when you change your surroundings, you change your destiny. And remember this truth, if you want to rise higher, sometimes you must first leave the ground you've been standing on